Hey, what's up, everybody? I don't know who can see me on here because I'm still trying to get my kind of set up stuff here with stuff here at work, you know. Oh, I'll try something new, you know, something a little different. Here live on the YouTubes. So I was doing a little bit of video, some filmography for you guys. I know I've been kind of slacking off here lately. It's been a busy week, kind of getting ready for my son's 8th numero ocho birthday tomorrow. So been busy with that one, trying to get the stuff. What's up, Justin? How's it going, man? Hi, guys. How's it going? I don't know. We're doing this sweet live thing. Do. So, what have you guys been up to lately? I know this is kind of not a planned thing. It's kind of an impromptu thing. Doing the giveaway next weekend. I'm doing fantastic. Other than, you know, kind of wasting my brain away today. Did a little bit of working. What's up, Chris M? How's it going, buddy? And I had to go furniture shopping today. Yeah, that was fun. I mean, it's okay. Yeah, I'm not working, but I had to come in. I'd pick you guys up, and I was working on the Duramax again. Did a right here video on some new LED headlights, some new style ones. So some company sent me one. They're some fancy whatever brand. So we're gonna be doing those. What's up, Don? Hey, that's awesome. Going to tech school next year. That is actually one of the coolest things you can do. And I plan on doing a video about that sometime in the near future, telling how awesome it is to go to a 2-year tech school rather than waste your time with a 4-year degree. I'm not gonna bash the 4-year degree programs and stuff like that. But at the same time, you guys, the 2-year degree programs are freaking awesome. They are so much cheaper, so much better for you. What's up, guys? Thanks for stopping in. And especially when you get into a program with a certain dealer or a certain manufacturer, they put on programs for you. Brandon, that guy is one of them. He's one of my little trainees, my little buddies here. He goes through the Chrysler CAT program, and they actually put you through a lot of the courses, and it's a whole hell of a lot cheaper than any other education you guys can get. And it's a lot faster too. So if somebody normally just comes into the shop, signs up, and starts working here as a new tech, it's gonna take them like 3 or 4 years at least to become some, I don't know, some semblance of a decent level 3 mechanic, at least here in the Chrysler world. So it's a little bit more of a rough journey. So if you guys can do it at a younger age, go to school, go to do your technical school stuff and get into it that way. It really pays off. It's what I did. It saves you a lot of time, a lot of money. So yeah, ramblings about that. Oh yeah, oh, I remember that one. That was a really cool truck. It was a really awesome show too. Yes, it is. Any program, see, actually, so truth be told, when I first started in the gig, I was going to be a GM tech. I signed up for the GM ASAP program. They were supposed to place me into a dealership locally here, and they kind of spit me out before I even started. Said, yeah, you're too green, we don't need you, whatever. And then they tried to place me in another GM program and then another dealership, and literally 2 days before I started at that job, they said, we've kind of slowed down on hours, so I can't do much for you, so we're not gonna hire you. So screwed again. And then lo and behold, my local Chrysler CAT program said they'd put me on at a local dealership. So that was awesome. A lot of 5.7 wiped cams, a horrendous amount. So I used to work at another dealership for like 7 months, and all I did was heavy line work. And we had a couple of accounts with some local police departments, and that's where we see the largest amount is in vehicles that do a lot of idle time. The Hemi cams and those, they build up so much heat, and the roller lifters on those will actually lock up and it wipes cams out. So it's not really the cams that fail, it's the heat in the center of the motor will lock up a lobe and it will wipe out the cam then, causing a misfire. And then you need a cam, but it really was the lifter's fault. But yeah, we see a lot of those, and if the Chrysler techs know, a lot of the 3.6s are the same way, but instead of on the lifter, they're on the rocker. The roller rocker will actually lock up and wipe out one of the overhead cams. Oh, you did? See, I give big props to you guys that, you know, don't go to tech school. You start off a little bit later in your life, and it's a hard way up. You guys start at the bottom of the totem pole, and you guys got to work hard to claw your way up, and it's something neat. It's hard to do. Oh, I see the gear wrenches. I know you guys are jumping around subjects, but I like this live stuff. I like you guys interacting. I think it's something cool. The gear wrenches are something really cool, and I actually have a set at home. The only reason that I have my set of Blue Point ratcheting wrenches here is because they are reversible. And then the early ones, thanks man, I love my new toolbox too. But so they're reversible, swivel head, and the earlier ones, before I swapped these out, they actually had 12 point on one side machined into this face, and they had 6 point on the other. So it was a really, really badass wrench. They changed them, so they're all only 12 point now, but they are some really good wrenches too. What is the best tip for flat rate? Don't make mistakes. You guys can be the fastest tech in the world, but if you have comebacks, that means you're doing shit for free. I don't like doing shit for free. No, that's not what we're here for in this business. I know I don't do a whole lot of videos when it comes to the actual Chrysler tech side of the things that I do, and it's because I like to leave that side of my life just separate. I don't get in trouble for doing shit at work or shit here, but yeah. Yeah, I know what you're talking about, but gear wrench, they're known for the ratcheting ones. But anyways, I don't like to mix stuff up in that aspect. I like to keep my work stuff here and my YouTube stuff a little bit separate. But I do a lot of, you know, my hard work during that, and I like to carry over what I learn into the YouTube channel too. Just I need to find ways after work to get it in there also. Rambling. I'm gonna go get a drink of water. I'll be right back. I make videos at work and make money. Yeah, it definitely is hard to make videos at work and make money. So, yeah, going back onto the flat rate kind of thing, you can make as many hours as you want, but if you're doing shit for free, you're wasting time, you're wasting money. Keeping an organized toolbox is another big one. If you don't know where your shit is, you're always losing it. You got people borrowing it. That's absolutely horrendous. So here at the shop, I am the shop foreman here at the shop that I work at. So we keep a lot of attention on the hours that everybody works, the comebacks. We're starting to log everything that everyone does, and the comebacks are a big thing that we want to get away from. Break from our water sponsor. But we do a lot of work with that. Out in Cali, sweet. So I've been a tech since 2008 I started, so I've been 8 years. From RVs. I am at the Chrysler side of things in Piqua, Ohio. But working hard at a flat rate thing is something that takes a long time to get into, and you kind of know the niches of I need to work faster, but I need to work better. So we try to keep track of all the hours that all of our techs do, and then on top of that, keeping a track of any comebacks that happens, because if all the techs have comebacks, then we are losing out on money, and it's no good for the shop. It's no good for morale. Everybody gets pissed because you're not making hours, you're not, you know, making time. That sucks. So we try to keep that down as much as possible. So maybe in the near future here, we're talking about doing a little bit something on the pay scale when it comes to comebacks and such. But What, you guys in the Chrysler and the tech world and stuff, you guys all flat rate, or do you guys enjoy it, or do you not flat rate? What do you guys think on that one? Never been flat rate. There's, here in Ohio at least, in the Rustbelt, dude, it's all flat rate. And it gets harsh at times, especially when you're in a bigger dealership. If you have the choice, a smaller, like not mom and pop, but smaller dealership works a lot. I tried to work at a GM Chevy dealership, but just didn't do it. I'm very close to Eldora. I'm like 35, 40 minutes away. We go to the King's Cup there. That is a badass race to see. Really awesome. My favorite ticket job. I am a big fan, just because I'm really good at it, electrical issues. I'm a big guy on finding those little electrical issues. And on top of that, not a lot of other guys do a great job at finding electrical faults quickly. I'm really good at wiring diagrams. I love, that's one of my early things that I caught on to in tech school. I was really good at, got A's in that. So I enjoy that stuff, and also AC work. AC work pays out the wazoo, just because nobody likes to do it. It sucks. Everybody has to have it, so it usually pays really well too. Like the new toolbox. Dude, I love my new toolbox. This is like the grandest toolbox. I've been working for this toolbox for, going on 8 years now. So of course I love my toolbox. It's the best toolbox. So it's the first place you've worked for on a flat rate kind of scale. It's hard. I started in flat rate work right before my second year ended of tech school. So right before I graduated, they flopped me onto flat rate, but that was also because I had a really good mentor. And so I was able to learn and move ahead a lot sooner. So that was nice. AC work, yes, it is moving from 134 to 1234 YF. That is the new standard that everybody has to go to. I think it's after 2015 and newer were required to go over there, unless they were heavy duty jobs, trucks, those kind of things. They weren't required to yet. And actually our ProMaster line hasn't even gone out to that yet. The 1234 stuff. Who has the freaking air compressor on here still? I can't believe that stuff doesn't time out. So I'm sorry, you're gonna have to deal with that. I'm not about ready to go over and find the switch. But anyways, I guess Journeys, yeah, the 1234 YF, and it's good stuff. It's not as big of a jump from when manufacturers went from R12 to 134. When they went from that, it was a really big change. Like, you had to put a whole huge different amount of the fittings, how much poundage of the refrigerant you put in the system is really different. So now that we're going from 134 to 1234, it's not a huge difference in that. It's just the fittings are a lot different, and it's supposed to be a lot better for Mother Earth. So the rednecks, when they blow off all their Freon, it doesn't hurt the ozone layer. So I guess that's cool, but other than that, it is super, super expensive because it is not in as high of demand yet. Right now I'm getting 134. If I get it in the off season, I usually get a 30-pound jug for like 68 bucks. And then the 1234, the 1234, it's running like $1,000 for 10 pounds. Police officer in our Chrysler cars get a bad lifter tick out after a while. So you need to get it to your dealership. The lifter tick is probably a roller lifter locking up, and it will cause a cam to wipe out real fast. Ozone holes, whatever. Yeah, everything here at the dealership is charged out Freon wise by the ounce. It's just a, another way to charge more for less. But I think our customer rate on 134 is like $1.25 an ounce, somewhere around there. And then the 1234 YF is like $10 an ounce. It's something ridiculous. Especially when a car is using, 1.2, 1.3 pounds, you're looking at a, $200, $300, $400 AC issue. No, the flammable nature it says that it's more flammable, but that's like saying this earbud case is a little bit more, or this piece of paper is more flammable than the earbuds case. They're not really that flammable, but that is something that they do have to put on there. I'm gonna have to hook this up to my computer next time. I've got my computer in my hutch. Ooh, drop you guys. And I've got everything hooked up in there, but I do not have a webcam turned on there yet. I'm gonna have to do that for some, streams like this with you guys. But this is kind of an impromptu thing. Like I said earlier, I was doing a video on the old Duramax there in the background from doing some LED lights, some new outfits from the UK. So over in the UK, are you guys watching for, I know my channel's a little bit different. I do, like 3 different things. I do stuff at the dealership, lift kits and stuff here on the trucks and Jeeps. I do my work on the Duramax and do some diesel truck stuff. And then I also do a lot of snap-on and tool reviews. So it's like 3 spiderweb things. So what have you guys tuned in for? That's the question that I have for you guys. Just trying to see, it's hard to tell where my viewers are coming from. And it's hard to tell what you guys all want and like to see more than the other things. I try to even it out as much as I can. It's hard to in some circumstances, but yeah, yes, it is cold here. It's getting cold. It went from 80 degrees to 50 degrees. It's Ohio. You don't like the weather though, just wait like 10 minutes. But I want to know what you guys tuned into my channel for. Did you guys tune in from like my diesel truck stuff? I started doing stuff with Truckmaster early on, so I picked up a lot of viewers there. My tool stuff, early on I actually didn't put a whole lot of effort into it, but it just blows up. People love the tool stuff. I enjoy doing the Duramax stuff just because it's something totally different. I ended up getting that truck because it was a hell of a deal, and it was something that wasn't wasn't the regular Dodge that I work on over and over again. Mods on the Duramax. Also, you like both, sweet. So my Duramax so far, I started off when I got it. I haven't done anything to the engine yet, but that's coming. That's definitely coming. I did the Raptor bedliner paint job. I did 2 different sets of headlights. I did LEDs, and I did a new set of smoked lights. I did new tail lights. I did new third brake light. I got the tint done. I did a 7-inch lift. Moral support. Look at you, Justin. Oh, don't forget, he's here for giving away cool things to guys named Rustbelt Mechanic. Thanks, Justin. But I did a 7-inch lift. It's BDS suspension. I did upper control arms as well. That didn't come with the kit. I did, what else? I'm doing tie rod ends. We tried to do that during the lift kit, but found out they didn't really work. Torque ratings. I'll come back to that, Nathan, in just a minute. But did the 7-inch lift, and then my wheels and tires, when it came to that, they are the new Fuel Rampage 22x14, 22x12s with a negative 44 offset, 37-inch Nitto Ridge Grappler tires. As far as my torque wrench preference It depends on which one you're going for. So good thing I am sitting here at my toolbox. So for my 3/8 preference, I have the 3/8 Tech Wrench. Love this thing. The only reason I have not got this in 1/2 inch is due to cost, and I like putting my money into things that I use more often, so that's kind of how I prioritize the tools that I buy. My tool list is like astronomical. My tool budget is not as high, so I have to prioritize in such. So I love the Tech Wrench for the 3/8. It does turning angle, torque to yield. That's a really great one. So I use that one for a lot of the smaller things. Plus it does inch pounds as well. But then for my 1/2 inch, I have the good old snap-on manual torque wrench. Use that for heads. Just like using the good old click style torque wrench for that one. I use that one all the time when it comes to heads and everything I do on the 3/6s and 5/7s. So yeah, that for torque wrench. Oh, I do have another one. My little old school snap-on torqueometer. I use that one for doing turning torque on rear ends. Once you set up a rear end, you have to do it to a certain torque to crush the crush sleeve, but then you have to do it for a certain turning torque for new bearings. So that one works best with a manual inch pounds gauge on it. So a little bit of new school, a little bit of old school. You like that torqueometer? Yeah, it is a cool torqueometer. How long have you been a mechanic? I've been a mechanic since 2008 is when I actually started. So for you guys that don't know me, I wasn't always a mechanic. I actually went to school for quite a few other things. I started out for photography, of all things. So now I'm actually getting into using cameras and stuff on videos. Started out photography, and that wasn't my thing. I started then doing computer programming. That was boring as shit. I couldn't sit at a desk all day. That sucked. It wasn't fun. And then I wanted to do something a little bit more with myself, so I started in on criminal justice. I went to school for just under 2 years. I was literally 1 quarter away from graduating with a criminal justice degree. And I kind of had an epiphany. I started in on the criminal justice, kind of like the finals, right before you go into the police academy, and everybody was assholes. Just that predetermined, you're gonna be an asshole. Everybody wants to be an asshole. Who has the bigger one in the room? So that sucked. I didn't like the people that I was around. I didn't like the instructors. I didn't like the other people. So I actually then dropped out of that portion of school, told my wife, I am going to be being a mechanic. That's what I like doing, so that's what I'm gonna do. Truck have an open rear end. No, they are an open rear end. Yes, they are not full posi. Yeah, arsehole alert. So yeah, I dropped out from being a police officer to become a mechanic. So then actually three and a half years into going to school, I decided to start school all over again as a mechanic. Went and tried to start off GM ASAP program. They said, sure, we'll get you in. Never could. And then finally, when came time to starting school, I ended up signing up with the Chrysler CAT program and a local dealership here. As I was saying earlier, I started with the CAT program. I don't work at a large dealership. The dealership that I work at, we have 4 like mainline technicians, 3 mainline technicians and 2 CAP students, hourly techs. Ron and Brandon, I don't know if you've seen them on the channel. They are CAP students as well, kind of working underneath me and learning at the same time. They go to school for 8 weeks and then they come back and work at the dealership for 8 weeks. Thanks for tuning in, Terry. Thanks for stopping in. But they come in and go to school for their technical portion of things, and then they will come back for the hands-on portion here at the shop, as long as they have a good mentor, which is this awesome bearded face. So they learn a lot. They get their trade skills and their technical abilities from there. But then here they get a lot of the hands-on, actually seeing the problems in person. So they get to see that one. What was your first mess up as a tech? That is a really good question. I like that one. So my first mess up as a tech, I think a week into working here, and I was working on a PT Cruiser, and I got to change out a starter. So did that one and went into changed it out just fine. My mentor says, yeah, it's easy enough, you can do that one. So I did that. They also wanted a new battery. So when I did that, I hooked everything back up, hooked the battery up, and went started making funny noises. So then I get back out under the hood and I see smoke starting to roll out. I'm like, oh shit, what happened? And he flung the hood open, grabbed the cable, ripped it off as fast as they could because I hooked up the battery backwards. I don't know who else have done that, but I did it. That was like my first big mess up. Thankfully, I didn't mess up any like big computers, PCM or anything like that. It ended up frying a fusible link to the battery and ground cables. So $3.50 into it, I was able to fix my first fuck up. So that was my first mess up. No, I do not dip. I do not do tobacco products. Not anymore, at least. I used to smoke, so that's why now I do vape. Not like the crazy smoke ring vape, but I do vape so I don't have to smoke. Well, Chris, I'd have to say that, what's up, Working to Relax? So yeah, I used to smoke a bunch, so now I vape so I don't have to smoke. Sorry, it's weird seeing all you guys' comments and stuff rolling up to everything. I like to, you know, to kind of try to get to everybody's comments so you feel a little bit involved with the channel and such. 64 people on here. You guys are awesome. I didn't think you guys were going to tune in late on a Saturday here. Have you ever made over 100K in a year? No, I have not yet made over 100K in a year. Hope to. That'd be pretty sweet, but I have not. No, not here in the Ohio. I am from Ohio. I live about a half an hour north of Dayton, so it's kind of a BFE kind of place. I am out in the shop doing videos. The more you vape, the more you smoke. It helped me quit. Yeah, we do not work on, yes, I am in Piqua. We do not work on Saturdays technically. We are a very old school dealership, so we don't have Saturday hours. So this morning, since I'm the shop foreman, me and another guy, we came in to finish up a little bit of extra work here in the shop just because we have a whole lot of big accounts and everything. And so we did a little bit of work today, but I'm technically not here to work on a Saturday. I came in because all my tools are in here, and I just got done shooting another video on the Duramax. I will probably do some editing on that tomorrow, maybe. My son's 8th birthday is tomorrow, so I don't know how fast I'll get to editing that video because I've been so lax on the videos this week. That's why I wanted to tune you guys all into a live stream as well. Oh, dang. I actually, Alex, have done a couple things with a couple other YouTubers. Truckmaster with some of my diesel stuff. I've done 2 things with him so far. I've done a couple of videos. We like to shout out everything. He's one of the first reasons I tuned into actually doing YouTube things. When I first bought my Duramax, I am a Cummins guy. I work on those all day, every day. I know those inside and out. So when it came to the Silverados and the Duramax, I didn't know jack squat. So what do? I want to learn about everything I can. Tune on to YouTube. Yep, turn on to YouTube, and who do I find but Truckmaster. He's got the most videos out there when it came to that. It showed me he's not a mechanic or anything like that, not real technical, but he dives in and he doesn't give a shit what he does. He gets in, and he tries to show you as he's learning as well, which is a really cool aspect of what he does. Jerry, I went to Chrysler CAT program, 2-year program. So yeah, show more Chrysler problems. I'm sorry, I've never dipped anywhere, so I couldn't tell you what to do to quit that one. But as far as the Chrysler tips, I'd like to show more, but I do so many other things here on my channel. It's hard to fill in a lot of the Chrysler things because that's my daily job. I like to keep that kind of separate. YouTube stuff, work stuff. I don't like the things that intertwine a whole lot just because, you know, conflict of interest and such. Buy a new Epic or a cheaper box. It's all about your price range. It really is. But the biggest thing that I think I made a mistake on when I did my Toolbox was I knew I wanted an Epic series early on, but at the same time, I didn't have the money for it, but I was really picky and really antsy. I wanted more. I wanted a better Toolbox, wanted a little bigger one. So I had 2 smaller classic series, and then I upgraded to the Master and then a larger Master. So I had 4 trade-ins and stuff over that time, and so that was kind of a mistake. Yes, Truckmaster is awesome. If you guys have not tuned into Truckmaster for especially Duramax and diesel stuff, you need to do that. So I got in on the Master Series boxes, and I started adding on to that one, the Master Series. And if I would have a recommendation for anybody for toolboxes for future reference, buy what you can in the series that you want in the end, and then add on to that over time. So if you really like the Epic over the Master Series, the styling and everything, then buy your Epic Series base first, build off of that one over time, rather than doing the cheaper stuff that you can, you know, just, I want to hurry up and build a big Master Series. I'd rather have the main one be my Epic Series. That's what I would have done different, I would say. I work on Cummins all day long, but I'd have to say, because of the last 6 months of working on this Duramax, it's a lot of fun. It's a learning experience, and I'm a big picky person on learning and doing new, fresh things. I don't like doing the same things over and over and over again. That's why I got into the mechanics gig, because, dude, you don't do the same job over and over and over again every day. If you do, yeah, you make a lot of money, you know, repetitive nature, but it gets boring. Sucks. It's not really fun. So it's something new, the Duramax, something very cool. So I really enjoy doing that. Exactly. And it wasn't even planning on getting this here. This thing fell into my lap. Some guy from California comes strolling in one day, and he says, hey, I changed my job. I got transferred here from California. I don't need my truck anymore. I used to have a boat. I used to haul all kinds of stuff with, and I don't need it anymore. So here it is. I'm buying a new Wrangler. So we traded that thing in on a new Wrangler. And I had, at the time, an 04 Dodge 2500 gas engine. That thing was a hog, a gas hog. Yeah, it sucked. And it was a fun little truck. It was a white truck, but it's starting to get the Ohio cancer to it. And when I saw this one, I'd never seen a truck prior to, you know, like 2008 around here. Everything rusts. You get holes in the cab corners, the fenders, and all that kind of stuff all the time. So seeing this thing in immaculate, perfect condition for an 06, and it's diesel, and it's low mileage, under 100,000 miles, I had to. Yeah, it was a deal that I could not pass up. So I got it at a pretty good price, so that's why I ended up jumping in on that one. Do you have any tools that you regret buying? There are tools that are stupid tools, and I'll be the first one to point them out. I know I could probably open each one of my drawers here and I could pick out a stupid tool in each one of the boxes. So that's my socket drawer. Every socket's a good socket. So in the first one I come to would be this little tool right here for taking off windshield wipers. Got it at AutoZone. Thought it'd be a cool, nifty little thing for getting wiper arms off. It doesn't work. It sucks. It works maybe 1 out of 10 times. So I keep it for that 1 out of 10 time. So, stupid tool. I don't know if I have, you know, spent, yeah, see, useless, stupid tool. Maybe I should start doing a stupid tool, you know, kind of little skit thing here and there. This is a stupid tool of the day. Harbor Freight and Sears. We have Harbor Freights and Sears around here. Sears is dying. So I had Craftsman. I still have Craftsman at home. I don't have a whole lot here, but yeah. How do I get them off? I use a 2-jaw puller for like pitman arms and stuff. It's got jaws that come in farther. 2-jaw puller. Hey, look, there's JRC. What's up, man? So if everyone hasn't tuned into JRC's channel, JRC54, he is the reason that I ended up getting this box in the first place. I knew I wanted an Epic, so I scoured the land looking for, you know, examples of Epic toolboxes, and I rolled into his on YouTube. And his was the first one that I saw, and probably one of the only ones that I saw that had the flat black paint and hook, line, and sinker. I said, yep, that's what I want. That's what I'm doing. So I tuned into him, and that's what got me hooked on this thing. So you guys need to check his channel out if you haven't already. His box makes mine look like the puny little dwarf, little hobbit, like a little hobbit box. His is like a giant wall of awesomeness. I know you guys say my box is awesome, but his is the beast. And he does some really cool giveaways. One of the biggest things that he involves himself in is helping out the little guy, the guys who are getting in on tech stuff. He owns his own shop, so he has shitload of tools, and he cycles in new ones to his old ones all the time. So when he takes his older tools, he gives them away to guys who need them. So for the new techs coming in on the business. So hats off to him. He does an awesome job on his channel. If you haven't tuned in, make sure you tune into him for those awesome giveaways. Mile per gallon, and what's next on the Duramax? Mile per gallon sucks. Since I did the lift kit, before the lift kit, I was probably getting 17-ish. After the lift kit, 14. But I also only drive like 4 to 5 miles a day. I literally live 2.5 miles from work. So I guess it would be 5 miles a day for that. If I go out to lunch, that's another 1.5 miles. That's all I drive a day. It's like little, not city, but stop and go, and then a little bit out in the country. So shitty gas mileage, but I also have lifted 7 inches on 37s with a stock motor, just a 4-inch exhaust. That's the only thing I've done. What's up, Roadrunner? So that's all I've done on the Duramax, but I've got a lot of cool stuff planned for that one. Next week, I've got something super planned. I'll let you guys in because you are the cool ones who are tuning into the live stream. I had a guy custom make me an exhaust tip. He reached out and he said, hey, I think I can do something awesome for you. And he knocked it out of the park. So I'm getting that in next week. Cool little exhaust tip, something else, you know, fun for it. But as far as motor work, I plan on doing that kind of stuff this winter as kind of a little extra project with it. So I'll be doing some charge pipes, up pipes, manifolds, some cool stuff like that. Get a little HP going in it, get a little bit more torque. Maybe do some tuning. I really want to do a video on differences in tuning and tuners. Your gasser, yeah, I'm gonna say you're probably gonna get shitty gas mileage in a gasser. But yeah, I really want to do another video on the tuning aspect, a couple of local guys. I know everybody likes to go with the big ones, the PPEIs and the Duramax, the D-Max tuners, that kind of stuff. But I really want to see what the little guys can do and why they do what they do with their EFI Live stuff. So yes, I am going to go to EFI Live. However, I am going to do a whole lot of production and, you know, looking into the actual ins and out aspect of doing the Duramax tuning. Thanks, I like my Duramax too. Beginner techs, do I have an advice for them? Get a good mentor. If you started out in a kind of 2-year program, then get a good mentor. Make sure that you attach to one of the guys in the shop that has been doing it for the longest and be his friend. Have him teach you the ways, the old ways, the new ways. Make sure you learn every single day, because literally when I'm like 8-9 years into the business, I go through at least 50 hours of training per year just for Chrysler material. That's not including any of the off-brand stuff that you can go and learn about, which I do, because I do keep up on my ASE certifications as well. I'm one of the only guys here in the tech here in this dealership who does keep up on their ASE certifications. I know you guys and a whole lot of other techs say bad things about ASEs, but it's something to keep us, at least dealership techs, on our toes when it comes to a broad spectrum of realization in the car world. Yeah, you can specialize in something, or better yet, specialize in everything. The more training you can do, the more you specialize yourself in everything, the more, you know, you can go anywhere and do anything you want. Buy a new Jeep Wrangler. New Jeep Wrangler. Are you talking about the JL body? The JL bodies are badass, and I really, as much as the technical side of me hates to looking at new technology and how much they always mess up, that new 4-cylinder direct injected turbocharged with e-torque is a badass little Jeep. So look at those if you haven't yet. They're awesome. They have a lot of ass to them. How long does it take to be an ASE tech? An ASE certification is, an ASE is just a certification that you can add on to being a tech. Here in the US, at least, I know it's different in some states and it's different in other countries. Here in the US, at least in Ohio, you do not have to have a license to be a technician. You're kind of selling yourself off of how much certification and how much training you have. If you have more training and more certification, people are going to pay more for you. You need to learn to sell yourself. If you have more training, more certification, more years of experience in, it's going to be equaling more money. And when I first started in the gig, a lot of the older guys in the shop, it was big on how long you've been doing this kind of thing, kid. And I hated it. I hated the fact that there was seniority based off of how long you were here, not based off of how much training you had, not based out of how much certification that you put yourself and how much you put yourself into learning each year. It was based off of how long you've been here. You know, you're just a freaking greenie. No, that's not the way I roll. So I went and I got certified in everything I possibly could. Trans, auto trans, diffs, 4-wheel drive, transfer cases, fuel injection, electrical, out the wazoo. I got my L1 certification within 2.5 years of going to school. So yeah, I did that and I made myself indispensable very early on. That's what I would recommend. Colton, I'm not sure what world-class certified is. It's not a big thing around here, I guess, and it's not something I would really need. So I don't really know what that is. But I am ASE certified across all the areas, including diesel, and I have my L1 master certification as well. I am level 3 certified through everything in Chrysler also. and I've been in the business for going on almost 10 years now. 9 years, almost 10. And I am 30, 32. Yeah, getting up there. Not a young greenie anymore. Coming back to that one, you know, when I got started in the business, the guys, they were big on seniority. So you were the shit stick when you came in. You had to do your 2 years of trash detail, 2 years of scrubbing and polishing them floors, and, you know, cleaning the freaking floor cleaner out, you know, doing all that kind of junk, and that sucked. It did. But you know what? I bided my time, and I got back in, and I did as much as I possibly could as early as I could. Master Tech in Illinois. So in Illinois, do you have just the certifications, or do you have to become, I guess, licensed to be able to have your own shop? I know in Michigan or some other places, or Canada or something along those lines up north, you have to have a license to become a mechanic. And I get the point of that one. I really do. We don't require it here. You know, some guys are some dumb techs. I've seen a whole bunch of them. There's guys that shortcut their way through being flat rate, and that's the worst thing. How much do you know about big Cummins? I do not know anything about diesel pusher Cummins or anything along those lines. I know up as far as 6.7 liter Cummins inside and out on up through the, you know, 45s, 5500s. That's as much as I know. I don't know anything about anything bigger than that. Damn, 9:37 here on the Eastern Standard Time, and I still got 60 people tuned in. You guys are awesome. You guys are killing it. I love you guys. You guys are way cool. I really like this interaction thing too. Seeing you guys and telling me, you know, some of your stories and your certification stuff, your tools that you have, I think it's really cool. All techs must be certified in Michigan. That is something that I wish we did here. So here in the tiny town, yes, I am flat rate. Here in the tiny town that I work in, I'll have to look up and see how many people here in this town, but we have, I would estimate 20 to 30,000 people here in this town. And in this town, it's not very big at all. It's, you know, like 4 miles in diameter, right around there, 3 to 4 miles in diameter. And there are 37 actual auto mechanic places that have an account with a parts people. So they actually have a tax ID for getting parts and stuff at a parts store. So there are 37 different auto mechanic shops within a 5-mile radius here. That is a lot. And 80% of them are shit sandwiches. Well, that's cool. You have to have your associates. That's something very cool. I wish they had more along the lines of requirements and certifications to be a master tech through here. DEF. DEF is junk. I hate it. I hate dealing with it. The newer diesel engines in not just Dodge, the Cummins, but in the Duramax world and the Ford Power Stroke world as well, they're badass motors. They are amazing when it comes to horsepower, torque, but the regulations when it comes to DEF chokes them off so much. And on top of that, the regulations for fuel is not there with DEF. That's the biggest issue I have with DEF. The regulations are not there to keep them up to par and up to standard across the board. So you might get some shit DEF, you know, in one place and it'd be awesome in the next. You know, it's really bad on the regulations, and that's why DEF systems go bad, is because of bad DEF. It goes bad. It does not have a real great shelf life, especially down south. In the warmer states, DEF does not stay good for more than, you know, 5-6 months at most, max. So that's bad news for DEF, guys. If you guys are using it how you are supposed to and going on long trips up the interstate, then that's what they're made for. They work great, they work better. But for the guys who buy your big new fancy diesel trucks to go, you know, big time pushing up through the middle of town showing off, yeah, you're gonna have a whole lot of DEF and engine issues. I do a whole lot of manual regens lately on guys who don't drive their diesels up the interstate and do regens. It sucks. It will actually, it won't kill the engine, but the engine management software will cause the engine to shut off because of the bad DEF, because you are not meeting the EPA regulated standards of having the DEF run through your system. So they have to keep your motor from running. That's how that's working. Yes, the hygroscopic form of it, like brake fluid, it sucks and it coagulates horribly also. Thanks, Chris. I'm glad you like the channel and love tuning in. But yeah, you take off a DEF injector, especially one that has run a lot around here, at least on just in-town driving. You'll take the DEF injector off and that thing will be plugged solid. It's horrible. Yeah, DEF on tractors, that's stupid too. It really is. They have to run through so many regens, and you imagine how hot the exhaust has to get on a diesel truck, let alone on a combine to do a full regen on an exhaust system. Dude, that has to be like some crazy amount of crap to go through, especially when you're out in the field with all this dry everything and you're running your exhaust regen up to 16 to 1800 degrees to do a full regen. That's ridiculous. Purposefully ramping up my EGTs to burn off soot. It's asinine, but in the big sense of things, it's supposed to be better for the environment. It changes the nitrides of oxide down to oxygen particles, and that's how all that's supposed to work with a catalytic converter anyways, but diesels are bad on the NOx portion of things. So it has to ramp everything up, run urea in it to help keep that O2 going. Yeah, DEF is horrible. So if you guys want to have your diesels last a long time, as soon as they get out of warranty, screw the warranty, whatever you want to do, get rid of the DEF stuff. Tune it, get rid of it. That's the weakest portion I see about that. Regens, see, we can do, with scan tools, you can do a manual regen. All you have to do is, well, we have to put them into a park mode, manual regen, turn it on. You have to drop the spare tire down because, like I said, the exhaust gas temperatures do reach like 1800 degrees. So if you even look all the way back to the tailpipe, that freaking exhaust system is going to be glowing hot. So you got to drop the spare tire down, otherwise it's going to melt. You need to make sure you don't park it someplace that's, you know, tar filled or anything, because it'll melt the freaking asphalt underneath. And so you can do a manual regens just sitting there with a scan tool. What tools or videos are going to do next? So because you asked, I will fill you in on a couple of cool new tool things that I'm going to be doing. I'm working with a couple of other companies who have been sending me some really neat stuff, or are going to be sending me some really neat stuff over the next week in the way of scan tools and code readers. That is going to be a really good video. I'm kind of putting all of my eggs in a basket and getting all the information good and correct over for you, so I can do a really awesome video when it comes to this one. It's not going to be like the pricey scan tools, you know, the big ones. I mean, here in the shop, we have a freaking Snap-on Zeus. That thing's like 13 grand. It was badass. It does everything under the sun, but that's not what you guys are going to be using. You guys are going to be using the smaller tools that you can get on Amazon, or smaller for dealers and such. So I'm going to be doing a retrospective video comparing a lot of smaller scan tools. Yes, I still do have the Mopar fridge. It's sitting on a bench over there off to the side because it doesn't match this whole amount of glory. I'm still in the shop because I was shooting YouTube videos and I hadn't done a video guide for you guys this week, and I don't know that I'm going to be able to edit the one that I did tonight on the Duramax tomorrow because it's my son's birthday and family comes first. So I needed to give you guys something tonight, you know. 7.2. You bought one of the 7.2 drills? I have one of the old 7.2 drills and it's doesn't have the balls. Yeah, I have one of those 7.2 ones, the 14.4. As long as it's not the early 7.2, a battery that has like the triangle style battery, those are way junk. But I have the later 7.2, which you can adapt to having the 14.4 batteries on it. So you can see it doesn't have the 2-speed drill, but it works just as good. Thanks. He is turning 8 years old and he is thrilled about dinosaurs. So my wife is working tonight with a couple of our friends on dinosauring up our house for all of his cool little guests and family that's going to be coming over tomorrow. He's an awesome little buddy. Yeah, you can use the 14.4 and the 7.2 as long as it's not the early 7.2s that have the triangle batteries. Yes. About to. As far as new techs, check out my video about the new toolbox, or the toolbox that I did for Ron's toolbox, his snap-on toolbox for the beginner mechanic. He was a first-year tech when he came into that toolbox. I know people say like, dude, you don't need snap-on tools your first year out. I said, yeah, you don't need them, but if you have them and they are a quality tool and you're building things off right off the bat that way, then go ahead and go for it. If you can afford it, then do it. If you can't afford it, then don't put yourself in massive debt just to be able to, you know, get the cool tools in the gang. But a lot of these guys like Ron and Brandon, they're going to CAP school, and when you go to these 2-year colleges and schools, the tool programs through Snap-on, Mac, and Matco, they throw you huge discounts when it comes to tools. And when I mean huge, like as a student, you can buy tools cheaper than the standard route guys can buy them for. So the toolboxes and everything that they purchase are cheaper than what your tool truck guy can buy those boxes for and then resell them. So the tool truck guys hate having to deal with the guys who are in CAT programs, GM ASEP, Honda Pact, whatever you're in, because they get such good deals on tools. Yeah, see, 65% off tools. You can't pass that up. When it comes to badass snap-on tools that are, you know, most of the time, I'm not gonna say every time, the best in the business, then why pass on that one? That's exactly what I said. When I graduated, I took all of the tools that they would let me buy, and I made one giant freaking tool order and bought everything that I thought I would need, that I tried to use within my initial 2 years of training and everything. So I bought like, I want to say it was like $7 or $8 grand worth of tools at that time, and it filled out my toolbox, and I probably got 16 grand or more worth of tools in that buy. Good first ratchet from Snap-on. I will show you my very first ratchet that I bought from Snap-on. Was this one right here, a FLF80 was my very first Snap-on ratchet. Is a flex head, 80 tooth, so it's very fine and doesn't have the padded handle. It is, I think it's the 12 or 13 inch, and I have ragged on this thing hard. As you can see, the head, not exactly the straightest thing in the world still. I torque on this thing pretty hard, but I haven't even had to rebuild this once yet. 9.5 years in using this. I do have a comfort grip one. I'm not gonna say that it's not better or best. I have a good, comfort grip one as well. The FLH F80A. It's just a hair longer, the 80 tooth as well, but I have that one as well. It's pretty awesome. They cap you guys at $8,000. Well, they shouldn't do that because it's all through Snap-on credit. And if you have good enough credit, then you should be able to get whatever you want. Our Snap-on guy in school was pretty awesome. He even let us get some of the stuff that probably they weren't allowed to through the student program, but it was pretty awesome. So that is another good ratchet you can get. Or you guys can watch one of my early videos and do one of these. Put one of these grips on an FHX 80A. This is the flex head with the locking. How much are the ratchets? Again, depends on where you get them. If you're able to get a used one of those, you probably get them for about 50 bucks-ish online. You buy them brand new, 100, 120. Right in that range. You get them on sale, maybe 90 bucks, 80 bucks. It's hard to tell people how much these cost, how much these cost. It depends on who you know, how you know them, where you get the stuff, how new you like your tools. You know, did I make that ratchet or build it like that? I built the, well, me and my Snap-on guy, we made this one. The handle is a comfort, or the off the screwdrivers grip. It's the tri grip off of those. It was off an SGD 155B little handle there. So we took that, reamed it out. In my video on this one, the ergo grip, yes, I had to ream it out. I had to drill it out. Maybe I forget. Watch my video on this one. Go look that one up, and I show you exactly how we did this one. It looks hard, you know, because you're sitting there drilling out a fancy fresh handle and beating on this thing, but it turned out awesome, especially if you guys have, you know, bigger hands and you like to have a bigger grip for your ratchet. I wish I did this on a non-locking flex head because I thought I'd like it. Not as much. This locking mechanism, it takes very little effort to unlock or relock itself, and I like having the flex head just all the time. It's just what I'm used to, one of those kind of things. Yeah, that's true. I have a flex head 1/2-inch ratchet. It is not a locking flex head 1/2-inch ratchet, but I really love my 1/2-inch one. And it is right down here. Big breaker. That one is the SLF 80A flex head 80 tooth 1/2-inch ratchet. That's what I use for turning all my head bolts. You know, when they tell you 90 degrees over, I use that big boy to do that stuff. Yep. I like my toolbox. I tell you how much I really love this thing. I do. Doing a shop tour. I have thought about doing a big shop tour, but again, that's one of those things, like I said earlier, trying to keep shop stuff here, YouTube stuff here, and not intermingling it so much just so I don't have conflict of interest, and so my bosses here don't get angry about me doing a whole lot here in the shop. And I did do most of a full shop tour when I did my video on shop charges. So if you want to see 90% of the shop that I work on, then go check out my video on shop charges, what they are, why we charge them, and those things. So that does most of a shop tour. Estimate on how much I have in everything box and tools. So that is another one of the videos that I'm going to be doing probably here within the next couple of weeks, is based off of what you need to do to keep track of your tools, cataloging them, getting insurance on them,
realize that when you work in a dealership, they have insurance, and they actually had to use them here. We had a fire here a couple of years ago, and we had to use that insurance. Some of our tools were damaged. Not everybody's were. We lost some pneumatic tools, electronic tools. Soot does horrendous things to tools. I can't say that enough. Soot sucks. So shops, they have insurance, but they only have so much insurance. They have insurance for the shop portion back here. So if we were to have a $90,000, $100,000 conversion van, that might eat up a third of the shop's insurance value. So when there's 4, 5, 6 techs back here, all with, you know, I'm gonna say, just throwing out a number, 80 grand in tools and toolbox here. I'm not 100% sure. I cataloged everything that I did, but I can go back through and look at up-to-date values and everything on all my tools. But you need to keep track of exactly what tools you have, because in the case that tools disappear, somebody breaks in and steals all your tools, something like that, you have to have a cataloged, you know, a catalog showing exactly what tools you have, so you can have, for insurance purposes, what, you know, their value is on replacement. Because other than that, they're just going to be like, yeah, he's guessing. And if there's not an exact set value, insurance companies will not give you full value on what you ask for. They will give you a depreciated value. It's something like 60 or 70% based on your full value of tools, because you don't have exact receipts or a cataloged, you know, book of exactly what tools you have and when you purchase them. So big thing, if you guys have a lot of tools, big toolboxes, keep track of what you have, catalog them for insurance purposes. Definitely. And cue the air compressor again. Oh, that thing's stupid. I hate that thing. I wish my boss would get us a scroll or a screw air compressor that was quieter, or put that thing out in a shed or something like that. Truckmaster, man, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be, you know, gallivanting with all your little munchkins and stuff this late at night. Or did you get them all to bed? Hey, it's good to see you in here, buddy. What about your tool truck? Mine, look up there. Yes, if I bought everything on the tool truck, I'd have, you know, 80-90% of Snap-on tools, but I don't buy everything on the Snap-on truck. So I would say, just guesstimating, I probably have a couple grand at least in tools that I didn't buy on the Snap-on truck. I know there's a couple specialty things and electric tools that I didn't buy on the truck, so it's hard to see that exactly. Yeah, Brandon knows that air compressor sucks. So all the people who are tuned into Truckmaster's channel, what'd you think about his tool review? I know he told me ahead of time, hey, I'm gonna be doing some tool reviews, you know, I'm gonna be trying to dip my toe in the tool world. It's awesome, dude. I love my tools, especially when you get, you know, not bored, but, you know, some stuff gets stagnant in the truck world. You got the tool stuff to fall back on. I love it. And for people who are working on these trucks all day, every day, they like to see what you guys use. And even if it's not, you know, the big badass Snap-on stuff, they like to see what you use, how you use it, and how you organize it is another one of the big things that I think a lot of you tool guys tune into this stuff for. At first, I never really got the whole spiel on why everybody likes Toolbox tours so much. Like that, once I talked to a couple of tool guys in the YouTube community, first off, they said, dude, everybody loves Toolbox tours. Everybody's all about Toolbox tours. I'm like, man, why? I said, it's literally me standing here with a camera for like 45, 50 minutes just going, here's this drawer, put it back. Here's this drawer, put it back. And then I started watching some of them, finding the different ways that people organize their tools, organize their toolboxes is actually really cool to see. So I've actually organized quite a few of my drawers based off of other YouTube people, personalities, whatever, and how they did their organization in their toolboxes. I know I did at least 1 or 2 drawers based off of you, JRC, 1 or 2 drawers from the Snap-on Tool Review, his YouTube channel. And Justin, I'm probably going to be doing a couple of things based off of how you did your screwdriver stuff. Might try that one. Like the Toolbox. The Toolbox widget is really cool. So I got to talk to the owner of Toolbox widget this last week. They did really good stuff on SEMA this last week too. What do I think about Harbor Freight? So, toss-up. Very big toss-up. When it comes to tools that I use at home, I actually own quite a few things from Harbor Freight. Some Chicago Pneumatic, some Pittsburgh, other things that you can buy at Harbor Freight, things that I don't use all the time. Now here in the shop, the things that I buy at Harbor Freight, they do not last. Yes, they might have some kind of good warranty with them. Yes, they might have a lifetime warranty, but they don't last. I can't. The closest Harbor Freight to me is like 25 minutes away, right around there. And they're not the nicest people to work with, but you know, if you're working at the Walmart or the tool stores, how nice are you really going to be half the time? So it kind of sucks in that game, but also it depends on what kind of tool you buy. So if you buy a set of pliers at Harbor Freight, okay, when are you going to break a set of pliers? You're not. If you do, then you're a freaking ape, and you know, you're probably using them wrong in the first place. Whatever. But as far as like air tools, pneumatics, electric tools, they don't do that great. And I started off early on in my career using quite a few air tools and stuff from Harbor Freight, the Chicago Pneumatic and stuff like that. And I swear, a 3/8 impact that I bought, I used it for 32 minutes worth of being at work, and the thing literally blew up in my hand. I have a scar on the inside of my hand. Let's see if you can see it right there, where my Chicago Pneumatic 3/8 impact blew the head off. Scarred up my hand. It sucks. So kind of put off that brand. Yes, my light that I have up here in the hutch, it has a magnetic connection. So when I pull the hutch down, it loses contact and the light shuts off. I really, really wished that I would have had that for my cabinets too. If Kevin, my Snap-on guy, watches this video, know that I'm still waiting on those. They have magnetic pickups that are normally open or normally closed ones, and the normally closed version for the cabinets are on back order. So I have the lights for my cabinets, but I have no pickups that were for the normally open or normally closed switches. So I'm still waiting on that for that. Wish I would have had that for my Toolbox tour to show you guys, because I plan on routing that lighting really well, the wiring for it. And then I've got another cool thing planned with my, I don't know where I put it, but my Echo locks. I've got some cool little things planned for Echo remotes. They have some extra little buttons at the bottom. I've got one of the extra little modules to run off that, so I'm gonna do some videos, maybe do some extra cool lighting and stuff. You know how my old Toolbox had LED lights underneath of it? We're gonna do that again, and I'm gonna hook it up really cool. I think it's gonna be awesome. So that'll be here soon-ish, maybe in the next couple weeks. I have been a mechanic since 2008, and I got started because I didn't want to be a police officer. JRC, I would actually, you know, he asked about programming and doing scan tool videos. I would like to see some of the PCM and flashing videos when it comes to other makes and models, how and
the amount of those that you are doing, because I know you can get a whole lot of these programming software and hardware for programming multiple makes and models across, but I would like to see the cost-effective nature of the tools and the software that you have to see if it's going to be something that would work in my day-to-day aspect tool. I think that would be a really cool video to see. So give JRC the thumbs up, say, let's see some programming videos. That'd be cool. I'm not going to do any programming videos because we use Chrysler specific software, and I'm pretty sure they probably would frown upon showing those. Yes, working to realize you can ask a Chrysler question. How much did I buy my truck for? I bought my truck for $20,000. Favorite thing about being a mechanic? The fact that I do something different literally every single day. And the fact that I don't have to deal with customers. Cars don't complain back to me. I don't do customer service because I'm brutally honest. I tell people that they're dumb quite often because they don't take care of their cars. They don't do what they're supposed to do. People don't do owner's manuals. They don't read them anymore. They don't know how their shit functions. And if you purchase something for tens of thousands of dollars, why would you not learn and get yourself up to date as much as you can on whatever you own that is worth that amount of money? Same thing with your house. I mean, if you're gonna own a $100,000 plus house or higher, why would you not be, you know, at least semi-versed on what to do in case of an emergency and how to fix something along those whatever lines if something breaks? That just, it boggles my mind to see people that don't know how to do anything but put gas in their vehicle. It hurts. Yeah, they don't let me talk to customers very often. I am the shop foreman, so I am forced to in some circumstances. So I try my hardest, but in the words of the great Forrest Gump and such, stupid is, stupid does. Love the videos and the new box. Thanks. I love my toolbox too. Dodges with bus issues. Not a whole lot of them. A couple of them. I had can-be bus failure issues. When it came to some of the radios these days are junk. I hate dealing with newer radio issues. They have so many bus failure problems, blacking out, not having Bluetooth signal. They jam so much stuff into these newer radios that I think that is probably one of Chrysler's biggest warranty concerns at this point is radios. They suck. And there's not really a whole lot of any internal diagnostics you can do to them. Cody, I got started in automotive after I didn't want to be a police officer. What is the hardest thing I have worked on? The hardest things that I do not enjoy working on, which I have to because I'm one of the only certified technicians in a very long way, is to work on ProMaster diesel engines. It's a VM 4-cylinder engine, and it sucks balls in every single way to work on. The Y-Tech is a very awesome thing for Chrysler questions. The Y-Tech scan tools that we use, it is a web-based software, and the new service info that we use, Iggy, the service net is awesome. I got into using it over the last couple of weeks. This new service library is really cool. It puts a lot of our, so us as technicians, we have a standardized online thing through Chrysler that we can have service info for individual vehicles. And so you can put a VIN number in. We can see what history they had. I can see what codes they had when they were potted, when they came into ours or other dealerships recently. Any warranty history they have, wiring diagrams, all off of a standardized sheet. It's really cool what Chrysler's done in that world for us. It makes our job at least a little bit better throughout the day to try to
diagnose some of the multi-millions of issues that they have across all of their different vehicles. So I like what Chrysler's done with their new YTech, and stay tuned for the new software coming out here in the next couple of months. They're going to have Y Advisor 3.0. It's going to be badass. I like how they have the star cases tied into them as well. Especially me as a higher up tech, I can see all of them. Service cart. Yes, I do have a service cart. And thanks for coming in. Appreciate it. My cart that I have, grab it, you guys. Going for a trip. That's the cart that I have. And all I do is the top section there, I'll flip it up. And that's what I put all of my tools in that I'm working with the current vehicles on. And I will kind of tote that one around the shop as I need to. So that way, also at the end of the day, if I'm like working on something late and I need to scoot in a minute, I can just close the box down, lock it up without having to put all of my tools back in my big box. And there's a couple other little things in there, zip ties, you know, little parts and such that I need all the time for working on conversion vans is stuffed into some of those drawers as well. So that is my service cart. One bottle of water, done. Yes, Phil, Chrysler does use direct injection. They just started now in 2018 vehicles in the JL Wranglers and the newer Fiat style bodies. And it's actually a really badass motor. It looks like it's gonna be a pain in the dick to work on, but it's gonna be really cool too. So it's a 2-liter direct injected turbocharged with e-torque system motor, little 4-cylinder that puts out over 300 horse. It's badass. It makes the Wrangler super peppy. It makes the 3.6s very slow. JL death wobbles. I've seen death wobbles in every single Wrangler. 98% of the time it has to do with front suspension work with the steering dampener. You ever worked on a Viper? Yes, I have. I actually had a customer when I worked at a large dealership for a little bit who daily drove a Viper. He and his significant other had marriage issues. She took everything out from under him, left him with a Viper. So he daily drove that thing, had 160,000 miles on it. Old man driving a Viper in the middle of winter in Ohio. That was a fun experience. Yes, I did go to tech school. I went to a 2-year community college that tied in with Chrysler. Older Pacificas are junk. They're not bad to work on. I make good money off of them because nobody else wants to deal with them, but they rust horribly bad in the wrong places. Ever deal with Commanders? Yes, I have, all the time. Didn't catch that last one. If I don't get to your questions, you know, you guys can throw them in anytime. Hopefully I'll see them and get through them while I'm not in the middle of talking again. I have been talking for 83 minutes and 28 seconds. I guess I can do that. I don't like talking to customers, but I like talking to you guys. You guys are pretty cool. You guys keep me on my toes. I like doing this kind of stuff for you guys. Calls for a reflash software on the Ram. 8-speed trans. Yeah. They also have valve body issues. The new 8-speeds. I literally just put a valve body in. A truck this last week that had a shifting concern falling out of gears, and everything is internal to that valve body and stuff. They is big onto those. Yeah, those JLs, they got some balls to them with those 2 liters. Yeah, the 8-speeds, they do have, working to relax, they do have a couple of flashes up for them. They have a recall, probably on yours, that has to do with auto park functionality, but it also has to do with some shifting functionality in the TCM.
So 90% says that you probably have a software update. Just go to your local dealership. If it's within 336, they should take care of it, no problem. No, Justin, you are awesome at live streams. Don't give me that crap. Dude, and your kids coming in on it, that was actually a fun time. That's actually what got me into wanting to do this more, because that was actually fun hanging out with. You don't have to have the personality or whatever. You go chit chat for like 80-some minutes, like I can do somewhat here and there. But just having everybody in on the live stream, able to talk back and forth, bringing in your collective knowledge of tools, trucks, lift kits, you know, from across the world. You know, you guys are here from freaking UK, Canada, you know, wherever. It's cool seeing everybody come together. What's the oldest thing to roll through your bay? So, cool thing is, literally rolled through my bay this week, sitting there in the back, right there, 64 Corvair. That thing was pretty sweet. Got that traded in this last week. The oldest thing that I've worked on, I showed it in just a preview of it in one of my recent videos. I worked on a 47 Dodge a couple weeks ago. Had to rerun some oil lines for the oil pressure gauge in it. That's the oldest thing that I've had to work on. They trust me with a whole lot of weird stuff around here because I like working on weird stuff. 4.7s and Commanders are kind of rough motors. They're very unforgiving. They do not do well with people who do not maintain them. So if you bought it from some kid who ragged the thing out, 4.7s are not as fun. Yeah, I forget which video it was, but I did it in the beginning scroll of one of my recent videos, probably within the last 5 or 6 videos, because we have them up in our showroom now here at the dealership. We've got a 47 Dodge truck that has had a frame off restoration. It's an awesome truck to work on. And then we also have a 78 Dodge Little Red Express. That's a badass truck too. Yeah, it was a Saturday. It was a couple weeks ago at least. But I kind of showed little stuff that I was working on that week. That Little Red Express truck is a pretty badass truck too. I may be getting able to work on that soon because I think it might have, I don't know if it's got head gaskets or it's got ring issues, but it smokes a bit when it gets started up. Owner didn't really like it a whole lot when that happened, so might be doing something along those lines. That'd be kind of a cool video. I'm sure he'd let me do that on a weekend. I'd like to see it. When I did my lights. Lights. It might have been, or it might have been pinion seal video, something along those lines. But yeah. Prowlers. You don't want to know my opinion on prowlers. Those are junk. Those are pieces of junk, dude. They were over-engineered, under-thought-out junk that were parts bins from everything else. They use window switches from PT Cruisers, center consoles, and switches from other Vipers and not Pacificas, but yeah. GMA set program is good, Cody. It's a lot like the Chrysler CAT program. It's very smart to get into, especially if you get into a good dealer that is willing to pay for part of your schooling. It is really cool. Yeah, whatever. They're those. Plus, I am very bad against those cars, the Prowlers, because I don't fit in them. Anything that looks cool and everything like that, yeah, whatever. But if I can't fit in it to drive it, it's automatically not a cool car. It sucks. I am 6'4", 260 pounds, and if I don't fit in the car, it's not fun to drive. I immediately think it sucks. There are quite a few other cars like that. The Chrysler Crossfire, another car that looks cool. They're actually really fast too, but if I don't fit in them, they're not fun. Not fun at all. It sucks a lot. And there's some really fun cars that aren't, you know, big cars. Some of the Audis, the Audi TTs, they're pretty sweet to see, and you know, from what I've heard, drive. But yeah, 2.3 Ford Fusion's bad for belt tensioners. I don't know. I don't work on that a lot. Crossfire is a Mercedes. It is their stupid Mercedes baby back from when Daimler had a chokehold on them. Yeah. But they're not bad to work on. Not bad to work on at all. I don't like driving them because I don't fit in it, but they suck. The current dealership that I work at, we don't do a whole lot of Sprinters just because nobody around here. Do I want to own a Hellcat? Yes, I would like to own one. But Sprinters, I used to be big into working on Sprinters because the last dealership that I worked at, they were a big Sprinter handler. They did a lot of Sprinter stuff, so I worked a lot on those, especially when it came to the 2.7 inline 6 diesels and the nag transmissions. I worked on those quite a bit. They're not very fun though. They're not that fun. A lot of the Mercedes stuff, it lasted and it worked well, but the whole sales aspect of Chrysler when they were under Daimler's thumb, it was not a good time for Chrysler. Daimler, they wanted to just shuffle the money through and spit them back out. The so not fun swirl valves. Yeah, I remember those. The 4-liter was the most reliable Chrysler engine made. I don't know about that one. The Chrysler 3.6, it is not that much of a pain to work on. It is very time consuming. There's a whole lot of little parts to it, but it is generally an easy motor to work on because it is in literally every car almost that Chrysler makes. So when they put it in 95% of the vehicles, you get good at doing them. So it's not that bad. You're pretty well versed in it if you're a Chrysler tech. You made pistons for crossfires. Well, that's neat. I've never seen one of those. Yeah, 4 liters. Everybody says that's the best one they made just because it was the Jeep crowd that had them. Those 4 liters inline 6s, they were good motors as far as the baseline of them, but they had a whole bunch of little issues to them, especially when it came to like crank sensors, 5-volt reference issues, bringing down the PCMs. You don't know how many Grand Cherokees that I've worked on where the customer brings it in with a no bus issue, and it says that across their cluster there, and it ends up being a bad crank sensor because it's grounding out a 5-volt reference wire that is grounding out the 5-volt reference that goes into the PCM, which shorts out whatever in the PCM and causes a no bus issue and keeps the modules from talking to each other and doesn't start. Stupid things. Yeah, I don't think Crossfires were the best. No, they were okay cars, but I didn't fit them, so they're not the best automatically. No, I just started unplugging sensors when I have to deal with 5-volt reference issues on those older vehicles. Every sensor that has a 5-volt reference going through it, I just start unplugging them because normally that's grounded out internal to the sensor. Cam sensor, crank sensor, mass airflow map, those kind of things. They're just quick, easy things. Just unclick, click, 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 click. So I start doing that. But for everybody who's just tuning in, I got into the business back in 2008 as a Chrysler technician. Been doing it since then. I have fun. I like my job. I like tools. I like trucks. I like diesels. I have my vape is got some local blend Mighty Menthol. New thoughts on the new style Pacifica vans. They are good except for the radios. The radios suck. Yes, I've heard big things on the Power Probe working for those, but it was one of those things where when I was a young technician, I was not shown the graces of God when it came to the power probe. So it's one of those things where I just don't find them. What's up, Warren? I don't use it because I wasn't trained with it. So I've kind of have those other training aspects that I have to find these other issues that I'm just good at finding, especially when it comes to the Chrysler stuff. I know it. I know it very well. So when it comes to finding those hard little issues, I'm able to find them pretty quick. But I do love the power probe. It's a really cool freaking tool. I used to smoke menthol cigarettes, so that's why I have like just a scope mint style vape for the person who was asking. Travis Meering, good question on that one. You need to tune in to the channel. Probably next week, I will be doing a whole badass video when it comes to DIY scan tools, code readers, etc. on something that is in the price range of the DIY guy. I will be doing a video on that, showing the differences and the cost effectiveness between a lot of scan tools and code readers that are from like the $20 range all the way up through like $200 to $300 range. So something that everybody who is in that range, who likes to work on stuff on their own on the side, can use and show you the differences in those. So stay tuned for that one. It's going to be a really sweet video. I'm excited about that one. I've got a couple of companies, actually 3 or 4 companies who are contacting me and I'm working with in trying to get some of their scan tools in and getting them tested, and it's going to be a good video. I'll tell you one of the things that I love doing for some of the tools and the scan tools, parts and stuff that I do here on the channel. I tell all of the customers, I think is one of them, Chris. I tell all of the companies that I will do an open and honest review. I will not bash said company because they were cool enough to send me their tools for review, and I will go through and I will do an open, honest review. I will tell you what I think about your tool. I'll tell you how good it is compared to other ones. I don't like doing reviews on just single tools. I like to have something to compare it to. So that's what I'm going to be doing. Have I changed glow plugs yet on my D-Max? Nope, I have not. And that is one of the soon videos also, because I have it set ready to go. I'm going to be doing another video on winter maintenance for ye old Duramax here, showing what I'm going to be doing to get this thing ready for winter, because it's not going into a barn or anything. I drive that fucker everywhere. I'm going to be using it every day, so I'm going to get it ready for winter. I got some other really cool stuff coming on the Duramax too. Hit you guys in on that one. I'll be doing some stuff with the Toolbox for that one too. It's going to be a cool build. I'm hoping to be pretty lucky when it comes to those glow plugs, because it's a very rust-free California truck. So that's what I'm hoping, at least. Oil. I work at Chrysler dealership in Piqua, Ohio. As far as oil on my truck, I am not that big sucker of, oh, I only run this, I only run that, this is all I run, I just swear by it. I am a big preacher of maintenance and keeping the maintenance on the low end of the mileage. So I will never ever go above 5,000 miles. I'll come back to you on that one, working to relax. But I never like to go over 5,000 miles on an oil change. So any of those oils, the AMS oils, the high pro synthetics, Royal Purples and stuff, so that say that they can go 10,000 miles on oil changes, all well and good. Cool, you guys have awesome oil, but I'm never gonna go that much. It's beat into my head. It's peace of mind kind of thing. I will never take my my trucks to that much. It's not, I just can't do it. Dale, launch, keep that one in mind. I got one of those, and it's going to be on that video too. No, there isn't a special tool for TPMS on Chrysler. We have one. Why wouldn't you use a special tool for TPMS? I mean, you don't have to have them all the time, but sometimes you have issues with the TPMSs on them where they won't read or they won't go out of learn mode, and then we need to use them to put them back into that or relearn the vehicle to that specific TPMS code. So we do have a special tool for Chrysler TPMS, but it's not always required like other manufacturers to program them. 3.5 that was in the Pacifica, the older 3.5s, they were pretty decent motors. They sucked to work on in the Pacifica just because of space requirements and such. I hated working on them around here just because of rusty piles of junk. But that's Pacificas and that's Ohio. You can't help that one. Stupid, Will. Stupid. Anybody that says 10,000 miles on an oil change and they recommend that for whatever reason or cause or anything along those lines is stupid. The manufacturers are saying that because the oil specifications are supposed to be going better and going longer distances, so therefore the manufacturers think, oh, your oil is better, so it will help protect my engine for a longer amount of time. How many times do customers use OEM or whatever recommended oil types? I would say less than 50%. Over that, a lot of those people never, ever, ever check their oil in between oil changes. It is a sad, sad truth, but people do it. So that not only do they not check their oil, they also never use the correct oil either. Yeah, it's their car. They can do what they want. I won't recommend it, even if they say 10,000 on it. Here at our dealership, we put 5,000 mile stickers in our oil changes because even on our standard oil changes, we don't use standard oil. We use a synthetic blend on literally every single oil change that we do. So we put a 5,000 mile sticker in every single oil change that we do, whether it's, you know, the 040, 020, you know, synthetics, or the synthetic blend in our 520, 530, etc. We will put 5,000 on it. Then it's up to the customer to follow whatever specifications. And when it comes to warranty issues, we can only document what the customer has on their end. We don't make the decisions when it comes to warranty issues at that time. 2.4 concerns on low oil all the time. And that is an issue of checking your oil. Those engines go through oil quite a bit more. It's just inherent to that engine. Their rings are a little bit looser than a lot of other engines. So the new intuitive multimeter, stay tuned for that one too. But exactly, JRC, they want their shit to blow up is what happens. Those 2.4s, they go through a lot of oil because of their rings are just inherently a little bit looser, so they go through oil a little bit more. So Chrysler, what they say on their oil usage percentage through oil changes. So a vehicle that has under 50,000 miles, 45 or 50, it's one of the two. They say it is okay standard if you go through 1 quart of oil every 1,000 or 1,100 miles. That is standard fine. If the vehicle has over 50,000 miles, it is standard and okay if the vehicle goes through 1 quart every 750 miles. In most standards, that is unheard of, and you're like, holy crap, if my car is going through that much oil, then that's a real problem. Not on these motors. It is okay, and it is okay for Chrysler standard, and many other manufacturers are going to that as well, to go through 1 quart of oil up to every 750 miles. So if somebody doesn't check their oil, especially on a 2.4 liter vehicle, they're gonna burn through 5 of the 6 quarts within their oil change time. And if anybody knows about the 2.4 liter, they have multi-air setups. They actually run, it's a setup like a dual overhead cam motor, but it only runs an exhaust cam, not an intake cam. They run new hydraulic pneumatic actuators that actuate the intake valves. They're able to open them multiple times per second. They can adjust the amount that each valve opens, how often it opens, etc. And those things go absolutely crazy wacky when they are low on oil. And people will say, oh, my car is running like crap. It's, you know, misfiring and sputtering when I go around corners. It's because it's low on oil. Check your oil. Every time you get your freaking gas pumped, open your hood, check your oil. That's why I would be a horrible service writer, because I would be brutally honest with everybody. All of the customers would not like me. They would not like me at all. So that's my little rant on oil changes and oils and such. Yes, the 3.2 Crossfires take 8.5 quarts of oil. The 3 liter VM diesels in the ProMasters take like 10.5 quarts of oil, depending on, you know, how long you sit there and let them drain. They take a crazy amount. Yeah, I literally had to show some lady how her hood opened the other day. She's like, I can pull the little handle, but I can't ever get it to come up. It was funny. They should put a maintenance reminder just to check your oil. All those stop-start cars. I'm on the fence about stop-start technology. Stop-start cars, people say, yeah, it saved me whatever 2 miles per gallon, something like that. Whatever. Around here, it's not big cities. I live in the middle of sticks, cornfields, bean fields, whatever. There's not a whole lot of stop and go driving unless you're driving all the way down to downtown Dayton, sitting on I-75 for, you know, rush hour every day. Then I can see where stop-start technology is going to help you out. But without it, it just pisses people off. They actually, working to relax, they use a totally different starter. It is a very, very robust starter, and it's actually a pretty neat system. They're very intuitive on the driver aspect of it. A lot of people say, oh, I couldn't handle my vehicle, you know, stop running all of a sudden on me. I can't get up and drive. I guarantee you that you have your foot on the brake and you let it off the brake and you go to hit the gas. Doesn't matter how fast you can let your foot off the brake and put it over onto that gas pedal. I guarantee you can't do it faster than that motor can start and still have it in gear ready to go for you. So there's not any delay. There's a lot of older customers who don't trust it because of that, but they work very well. Yes, the eTorque does work for the start-stop technology right now. Justin, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate it. Again, if everybody here hasn't tuned into Justin ATV, go check out his channel. He is a genuine, awesome guy, and he does some really good videos when it comes to tools and such, so check him out. I actually am probably going to cut it off here in a couple of minutes just because I probably should get home and help with some of the household stuff for my son's birthday tomorrow, but I just had the itch and the urge to do a live stream, and an hour and 8 minutes later, 108 minutes later, woo, yeah. Oh, that sucks, Autotech. Thank you, Justin. You have an awesome night. I appreciate you stopping in, and we'll check you out later, that's for sure. Oh, the screwdriver video, that was a good one. Yeah, I got the urge to do the live stream just because I did a video on the Duramax tonight. I came into work because I had to drop a bunch of stuff that I had in my truck before I have to go to the storage unit tomorrow morning. And I figured I had a couple parts sitting here and I had the time, I had my camera, and I should probably do a video because I haven't done one this week. I was lazy this week, guys. I'm sorry. I know you guys like tuning into my videos, you know, for a midweek one, but I just got so busy this week and just wasn't feeling it. One of those kind of things. So I was feeling it tonight. I did a video on LEDs, how LEDs are, and new ones. It is 10:41 p.m. here, Warren, on Eastern Standard Time. So yeah, I was doing a video on LEDs, and I'm not sure if I'll get to edit it and post it tomorrow. And so I did that, hoping that I'll be able to, and I'm not sure if I'll get to, so I felt the need I needed to do something for you guys, do this thing. My dealer is very cool, but I'm also the shop foreman, so I have a key to the place, and I'm able to do everything, you know, pretty much I want here because I got my mass loaded tools here. Thank you, Chris, for coming in. I appreciate it. And actually, guys, I think I am going to cut off the live stream here in just a minute or two. I also wanted to point out that next Saturday, I will do another live stream. I don't know if it'll be 110 minutes long live stream, but I'm going to do a live stream where I'm going to do a whole lot of cool giveaways, like really cool ones. I've gotten a couple of my Snap-on reps and other reps and stuff to give me some really cool stuff for the giveaways. I know I've showed you guys the really cool shirts that I'm going to be giving away. In my last video, I left a link to the giveaway where you can put in your name, make sure you subscribe to me on Instagram, put your email in, and you are signed up for that drawing. Even if you can't make the live stream next Saturday, you will still be in for that live stream. It's going to be a really good one, but I'm also needing you guys to tune in for that one because I'm going to have a lot of other cool things that I will be giving out in that one that are almost and just as cool as that, and it'll be a really good time. So, yeah. So, everybody else who has questions, I'm sorry, I'm going to be cutting it off. Oh, magnets for the box. Working to relax. So the magnets that you see up here and the Snap-on pickups, that's what I'm missing for my cabinets. I need 2 of those magnets and 2 of those pickups for it. So I know the magnets, you know, this isn't a really big thing, but unless I have the pickups too, it's not really going to do a whole lot of help. But anyway, guys, if you guys have any other questions, inquiries, anything like that, feel free to email me at therustbeltmechanic@gmail.com or cruise over to my Instagram, page. I do DMs there, and I have my phone on me all the time, and I will respond to that as fast as my schedule allows, which sometimes, you know, isn't always the fastest, but usually within a day or so. So yeah, so make sure you tune in to the live stream next week. Even if you aren't able to make it, sign up for the giveaway so you can at least have a chance to win the badass prize. And then I'll be giving away at least 3 or 4 other really cool things in the giveaway also of next week's live stream. It starts at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So depending on your time zone, dial back or dial forward accordingly. And that's when it's going to be next Saturday. Right now it's 10:44 here, but it's going to be 8:30 Eastern Standard Time next Saturday. Make sure you keep an eye on my videos popping up this next week. There are going to be some really cool ones. Hey, Ron, that's right. Look at that beard. But anyways, guys, it's been an awesome time. I really appreciate you guys tuning in and all the input that you guys have, questions and everything. This is why I do it. This is what I really enjoy. And thank you again. I can't say thank you guys enough for making this channel what it is. And I'm going to keep on coming up with cool stuff for you guys to enjoy. So without further ado, I'm going to say peace out. You guys stay awesome.